Death Valley, California. The hottest, driest, most forbidding landscape on Earth. A bizarre world of sun-scorched sand and rock, where temperatures exceed 130 degrees, and survival, a headlong dash to shade. It was here in 1966 that a young Frenchman began a most unusual odyssey, attempting to become the first person to walk the length of Death Valley in the middle of summer.
Brought to you by gas-saving Pennzoil Multivis. Quality in every extra mile. Ask for it. Pennzoil.
Everywhere I go, people ask me, Arnie, is that old tractor you drove in the Pennzoil commercial still running? Still running? We use it here at Latrobe every day. And with Pennzoil protecting the engine, there are a lot more miles left in it. You know, this old tractor and I are a lot alike. We're both still using Pennzoil, and we're both still running.
Gas-saving Pennzoil. Quality in every extra mile.
Death Valley is appropriately named. In the past century, over 24 people have lost their lives here. That's the kind of place this is. Heat is so intense that dry timber bursts into flames, and water left out in the midday sun comes to a slow boil. It was in this harsh environment in 1966 that a young Frenchman, Jean Pierre Marquant, attempted to prove something. He wanted to be the first man to walk the length of Death Valley, a grueling 100-mile trek in the scorching heat of midsummer. This is Jean Pierre's incredible story, his challenge and his attempt at conquest.
Day 1. I start out from the sand dunes in late afternoon. I will try to cover as much ground as I can during the first night while I'm still fresh. The sun is about to set, yet it is still 118 degrees. After only a few hundred yards, I am drenched. I have never experienced anything like it. Already I begin to wonder, can I possibly survive 7 complete days in this heat? And what will it be like tomorrow, in the hot sun? Everyone asks, why Death Valley? Why this? I had a job. It was better than some. And I think I could have learned to like it with enough time. And I had a girlfriend, who I thought I liked.
Jean-Pierre, je t'en prie, essaie d'être plus ordonné. Quand même, ça fait presque un quart d'heure que je t'attends. Tu sais, tu devrais parler avec la direction qui te laisse partir.
And if I just kept my job,
Tu sais, Jean-Pierre,
I could one day get married. And that's what I was planning to do, because that's what Jeannette wanted me to do. But there was something in me that said no. There must be more to life than just this.
tu es bien d'accord, Jean-Pierre, n'est-ce pas?
I dreamed of worlds past, of adventurous men in faraway places. And I thought, what a pity. Those worlds were lost. There no longer was adventure. They were just books. the Valley of Death, the hottest place on earth. Then the idea struck me. Why not? I could prove to all French people that adventure could still be found, and I would go to America to prove it. There was more to life than just a job and a one-bedroom apartment. Day 2. I have covered 12 miles during the first night. Ahead is Rhyolite, or what is left of it, a gold mining town of the early 1900s. I will stop for a moment.
Yee-hoo! Rounds for the house, Marquis. Hey, Jimmy boy, come over here. Oh, I struck David the other night.
At one time, the town had 10,000 people. But when the gold ran out, nobody wanted to stay. There is one other place I must stop. Jean Lemoine, a fellow Frenchman. He died here 100 years ago. He was leaving the valley, trying to return to his native France. He didn't get very far. His burros ran away. He died a horrible death. Rest in peace, comrade. What happened to Jean Lemoine will not happen to me. I have prepared myself too well. I ran 25 miles each morning, outside of my native Nice, up and down the steepest hills I could find. And as much as I wanted it, I refused to drink water. My body must be ready for the challenge ahead. Chin-ups, 50 each day. Sit-ups, 500. Push-ups, 200. I planned my route, more than 100 miles over the most rugged terrain anywhere in the world. Water, of course, would be my biggest problem. Even in excellent physical condition, I would need 3 gallons each day. I could never carry that much. I would have to bury it at predetermined locations before I began my journey. Everything had to be planned to the last detail. I would bring an umbrella along, not for rain, but for shade. Sunglasses would always be worn to protect my eyes. And for special conditions, a pair of mountaineering goggles. I could go blind without them. The light is so harsh. Gloves for the hot rocks. They could reach 200 degrees. The only food I would bring, baby food. It will digest easily. And one final item that I hoped I wouldn't need.
Get tough. Protect your car with Meguiar's lifetime polysealant system. Tough protection from polymer technology and 50 years of professional car wax experience. Meguiar, a blend of tough polymers, expensive waxes, and silicones. Get Meguiar's deep shine in one easy step. A shine so tough, we dare to give you a guarantee for the life of your car. Meguiar's in liquid or paste.
By the middle of the second day, the temperature reaches 127 degrees, and Jean Pierre begins to fatigue quickly.
The heat is far worse than I imagined. It never ends. An inferno, and I cannot escape. My feet burn through the soles of my shoes. I want water all the time, but I know I can't drink. The little water I am able to carry must be used sparingly. Shade is wherever I can find it. In this case, an abandoned mine shaft. I have no appetite, but I try to eat anyway. It is to no avail. I am unable to keep anything down. I have only traveled 30 miles, and my left foot feels like it is on fire. It is painful, but it will not stop my journey. The night offers no solace. It is so hot I cannot sleep. My mind wanders back to the ranger station.
Jean Pierre, I've worked in this valley for 8 years. You don't know what you're getting into. You're not gonna make it.
I will make it.
Kelly.
At a Los Angeles newspaper, a young reporter gets an assignment.
Pack your bags. Some guy's crossing Death Valley. Want you to cover it.
Why would anybody want to do that?
Beats me, but I want it covered.
Why me?
Because no one else wants to go.
It is my 3rd day. I am tired, but I am still on schedule. Ahead of me, one of the biggest obstacles in my journey. It rises 1 mile above my head, Dante's Peak. I must climb it, with 50 pounds on my back.
As Jean Pierre continues his climb, the young reporter gets his first taste of Death Valley heat.
Magnifique. I feel exhilarated. At a time like this, it is difficult to think of the people who have lost their lives here. In 1849, a group of pioneers were trapped below. They had blundered into the valley by mistake, looking for a shorter route to California. When it was over, 14 had lost their lives, searching for a way out. It is hard to imagine that a land so beautiful could be so harsh.
In a valley 500 square miles in size, finding a solitary hiker can be difficult.
You're overheated.
Where is everybody?
Nobody here. It's summer. Only crazy people here in the summer.
Say, you wouldn't know anything about this Frenchman, Marquant? He's trying to cross the valley.
Oh, someone trying to make it across, huh? It's been a while.
You don't know where I could find him?
Find him? You ain't gonna find him. Find his bones, maybe.
You don't think he'll make it, huh?
They never do. The hardest part comes last.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
Salt flats. Burn a man alive. Say, let me get you some water for that car, boy. Cheap, $10.
Jean Pierre's trip down the mountain should have been uneventful, and he was near the bottom when it happened.
How do you say quality in a motor oil? P-E-N-N-Z-O-I-L. Pennzoil contains its own additive Z7 and exceeds all car manufacturer warranty requirements. Pennzoil has always advanced with the times, and Multivis Pennzoil is part of the quality tradition. It protects your engine while it saves you gasoline. Gas-saving Pennzoil. Quality in every extra mile. Ask for it.
What happened to him? Dehydration. His tongue always swells up like that.
The body was that of a young Army reservist, found dead in a remote area near Death Valley. It would be determined later that he lasted less than 1 day in the blistering heat. Jean Pierre, of course, knew nothing of the discovery of the dead reservist. He was having enough problems of his own. If unable to walk, he would more than likely die a slow, agonizing death.
My leg was not badly injured. I could still walk. Merci, mon Dieu.
On the 6th day, an exhausted Jean Pierre enters the pinnacles. Strange salt formations, centuries old, and as sharp as glass.
I am exhausted. The mountain is behind me, but I am a day behind schedule. I have little water remaining, and I must go another day to my next water station. For the first time in my journey, I realize that I may not make it. I may die.
It's 88 degrees in the city, going up to a high of 95. Good day to be at the beach. And if you think that it's hot, you wouldn't want to be in Death Valley right now. It's a sizzling 122 degrees. And you may not believe this, but there's some crazy Frenchman, Jean Pierre Marquant, who's there right now, attempting to become the first person in history to cross the valley in the middle of summer. Now, Jean Pierre, buddy, I don't know why you're doing it, but I'll admire you for it just the same.
On the 7th day, Jean Pierre confronts his final obstacle, the salt flats, a 12-mile stretch of white burning salt, where ground temperatures can reach 200 degrees. By this time, Jean Pierre is suffering from severe exhaustion, and his body is rapidly approaching the point of dehydration. His mental processes are numbed, and it is only sheer determination that forces him on. losing his umbrella, Jean Pierre is now exposed to the full fury of the salt flats. That afternoon, the ranger finds Jean Pierre's umbrella, and with Jean Pierre nowhere in sight, assumes the worst.
The motor oil in the bright yellow can with the red bell and the name Pennzoil. Pennzoil gives you another reason to ask for it. See, it saves gasoline because Pennzoil has added gas savings to their regular multi-weight oils. So you get all the quality and protection Pennzoil is famous for, plus extra miles. Gas-saving Pennzoil. Quality in every extra mile. Brought to you by gas-saving Pennzoil Multivis. Quality in every extra mile. Ask for it. Pennzoil.
Not knowing whether Jean Pierre is dead or alive, an odd group of spectators gather at a finish line outside of Stovepipe Wells. The young reporter, the ranger who told Jean Pierre he couldn't make it, a medic assigned by Death Valley authorities, a lifetime resident of Stovepipe Wells, and a couple from Needles, California, who didn't have anything better to do that day.
Here he comes!
8 days and 102 miles after he began his unusual odyssey, Jean Pierre Marquant struggles the last few yards towards his destination. The feat of Jean Pierre Marquant may not rank with the conquest of Mount Everest, but this isn't what Jean Pierre had in mind. His goal was simple enough: to prove that adventure still can be found if someone was just willing to accept the challenge.